Prepare yourself for one of the most surprising breakthroughs in the entire Iraqi Dinar story, because what just happened behind closed doors has the potential to shake the global currency markets in a way many people have never imagined. And before we go deeper, make sure you stay with me till the end and hit the like button so this information reaches more viewers just like you who are waiting for real, verified updates. Today's massive development revolves around the approval of the long-delayed hydrocarbon law, widely referred to as the HCL, and for the first time in over a decade, we finally have confirmation that the political deadlock surrounding the distribution of oil revenues between Baghdad, Kurdistan, and the international investor community has shifted into a stabilized framework, which experts believe is a major prerequisite that investors and economists have been warning about for years when evaluating the readiness of Iraq's financial environment for a serious rate shift. Even more crucial is the detail coming straight from parliamentary sessions showing that financial committees have already reviewed the structure that outlines how Iraq intends to stabilize its internal revenue distribution, restructure its currency management, and integrate fiscal policy adjustments in preparation for international valuation alignment. This means the continuous speculation that Iraq was waiting for a politically unified foundation before moving forward with any form of currency revaluation is no longer speculation, but an active step in motion. What makes this even more shocking is the new information emerging from economic advisors who claim that Iraq's international partners, including those monitoring its currency under the IMF structure, have been analyzing the country's progress in domestic reform, oil sector recovery, and corruption reduction to determine when Iraq will be ready to transition from a restricted financial posture to a globally recognized valuation. This entire movement signals what many observers have been calling a complete reorganization of the monetary landscape. The approval of the HCL is not just a local policy achievement. It is a signal that Iraq now holds the most essential component needed to deliver long-term economic stability. When you connect this to the ongoing conversation about the rate framework being finalized, you can clearly see a pattern that suggests Iraq is no longer standing still, but actively moving towards major fiscal restructuring. Investors, economists, and currency analysts worldwide are watching closely, because once the final rate framework enters implementation phase, the global foreign exchange environment may experience a ripple effect that reposition Iraq from a recovering economy into a competitive oil-backed financial force. Stay tuned, because this story is only getting more intense, and if you want to keep receiving the most accurate and original breakdowns, make sure you subscribe right now so you never miss the next major update. As we move deeper into the unfolding development surrounding the Iraqi dinar, it's impossible to ignore how dramatically the completion of the rate framework has shifted the global economic conversation. And if you're watching this right now, make sure you drop a comment, because your engagement helps push this information further so more people finally understand what's happening behind the scenes. According to several economic discussions circulating within financial institutions that monitor Iraq's reforms, the finalized rate framework is not simply a numerical adjustment. Rather, it is an entire structural blueprint designed to guide Iraq's currency into a responsible, internationally supported valuation system. What makes this especially important is that the framework reportedly includes procedural guidelines for how Iraq plans to manage liquidity, attract foreign investment, stabilize inflation, and balance the relationship between the USD and IQD in a way that prevents the internal market from collapsing during transitional phases. For years, analysts have insisted that Iraq must prepare a detailed strategy before adjusting its currency rate, and now that the framework is reportedly complete, many believe Iraq is aligning itself with regional economic partners who already depend heavily on stable currency operations. Another major layer in this story is Iraq's expanding cooperation with international auditing teams that are reviewing corruption reduction, banking transparency, and digital system upgrades to ensure the country can meet the operational requirements for global financial participation. What this means in simple terms is that Iraq is preparing itself to open the doors to international recognition on a larger scale And with the HCL now approved, the government finally holds the authority to distribute oil revenues in a way that supports sustainable national budgeting. This combination of political stability, economic structure, and resource-based revenue projection is the formula required for long-term valuation changes. Many experts argue that the timing of these developments is not random. Rather, Iraq has been waiting for the right geopolitical moment when regional relations, oil output stability, and international oversight could collectively support a strong currency transition. Now that these conditions are aligning, the expectations around a significant shift in rate value are becoming harder to dismiss. Of course, speculation should always be approached with caution, but the difference today is that Iraq is no longer stuck in discussions. It is actively implementing reforms, signing agreements, passing laws, and completing frameworks that were once considered impossible. If you appreciate this level of deep analysis and transparency, make sure you stay tuned and keep interacting, because every update brings us closer to understanding how the IQD may reshape future investment narratives. Now, with all elements coming together, from the approval of the hydrocarbon law to the completion of the rate framework, the momentum building within Iraq's financial transition is stronger than anything we have witnessed in the last decade. And before we continue, make sure you follow this channel so you never miss these crucial developments that most mainstream platforms fail to explain accurately. Iraq's economic trajectory is shifting rapidly as new policies integrate into market operations, especially as the country's reserves grow, oil output stabilizes, and foreign partners strengthen economic ties to support long-term currency stability. The most fascinating part about this entire evolution is how Iraq is positioning itself to break free from older restrictions that kept the currency undervalued for years. By improving digital banking systems, launching anti-corruption initiatives, modernizing customs operations, and streamlining trade routes, Iraq is signaling to international financial observers that it is preparing to operate at a higher economic tier. Analysts have repeatedly explained that a currency revaluation requires more than political promises. It demands structural readiness, legal authorization, and strong reserve backing, and Iraq appears to be systematically checking each of these boxes. Additionally, ongoing discussions about reducing reliance on the USD for local transactions indicate that Iraq is preparing for an environment where the IQD plays a stronger role in national and international markets. As these reforms continue aligning, investor confidence grows, creating a potential turning point where the global market could eventually reprice the dinar in accordance with Iraq's increasing economic strength. While no responsible expert gives exact dates, the undeniable reality is that Iraq is moving on a clear timeline of reforms that support upward valuation potential. What makes this moment so unique is that all the required components, legal, economic, political, and structural, are aligning simultaneously for the first time. This has dramatically changed the global conversation, creating anticipation and strategic positioning among investors who have been monitoring Iraq's progress for years. The level of movement we are seeing now is not random noise. It is the result of coordinated national restructuring and international alignment that could reshape Iraq's standing in the global economic arena. If you've made it this far into the video, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a comment, and share this update, because your support helps bring accurate information to more viewers around the world who truly want to understand what's happening behind the scenes. Stay connected, because the next wave of updates could be even more powerful, and you won't want to miss a single detail.